Welcome to Fanboy Critic, where we go watch new movies out in theaters and give you our review, both the good and the bad. I'm Joe Ortiz, and I'll be your fanboy.
And I'm Sam McClure, I'll be your critic. This week on Fanboy and Critic, we went to go see the live-action Lion King, directed by Jon Favreau, starring pretty much everybody. Donald Glover, Beyonce, James Earl Jones is still in it.
What's his name? Seth Rogen's in it.
Seth Rogen, Billy Eichner.
There's a lot of people.
It's starring everybody. Anyways, if you don't know what the Lion King is, you had no childhood, so get out of here. What do you think he did well with copying the same movie again?
He did exactly what he did with Jungle Book. He brought it to life. But I think the cast was really good. I think my favorite cast member was Donald Glover. I think he nailed Simba. And I also was a big fan of Timon and Pumbaa, especially Seth Rogen. He was perfect for Pumbaa. It was exactly like the cartoon. I mean, I think word for word, frame for frame, it was identical identical to the movie, to the original movie. I mean, I just watched it today for a little refresher, and I'm talking about frame by frame, song by song, line by line, identical.
Wait,
and you know what?
You need a refreshing on the Lion King. You don't remember the Lion King.
Well, not a refreshing. I just wanted to compare. Okay. So, I mean, comparing it, it was identical, and I think that's what I'm most happy about. He didn't change anything, and I don't want you to change anything. The Lion King is perfect how it was, so don't change a damn thing.
I mean, I can't say that he didn't copy it, because that's basically all he did was copy the movie. I didn't think he brought anything to it. I mean, it's hard to say, like, it's a classic. If you remove things from it, you're removing perfect things from a classic. When you add things, they're never gonna measure up. So I think they rewrote a lot of lines, and the lines that they rewrote were flat. For like Simba, Nala, Mufasa, the main characters, the lines that they rewrote were really flat and lame. And then for Timon and Pumbaa and Zazu, I don't know if they rewrote those or if those were like improv things. It felt very natural, and maybe that's just because those guys are good voice actors. But, you know, Simba and Nala, those lines that they added for them, I thought were really flat and lame. And I don't think Donald Glover did a bad job. He just did a meh job. Like, there wasn't any much for him to do. Simba's pretty straightforward. And this isn't spoilers. I'm not really worried about spoilers since you all should have seen the original. But the one part that they did change is they sort of altered / removed one song that we already talked about.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not really a removal, but they turned it from a song into more of a spoken word sort of poem, I guess, is the best way to describe it. And it was one of my favorite songs. I mean, they're all my favorite songs, but like, seriously, you can't change too much from the original without just being like ruining it. And they didn't add much, in my opinion. Not. But I was pretty astounded by the level of detail. It's not live action like all these other remakes, but the level of CG detail was insane. The animation was off the charts, crazy good. Like little flicks, like you just notice like little twitches in an ear, like little hesitation, like jumping, like cats, you know, they coil, they get ready to jump and then they coil back a little bit, and then they, like, stuff like that was just crazy.
Yeah, the detail, CGI was awesome.
CGI was amazing. Convince the critics out there why they need to see this movie again, because they've already seen it. They're just contributing to Disney's retirement fund.
Do I have to convince you? Really?
Yeah.
I should not have to convince you. I mean, it's the Lion King. It's finally come to live action. You've seen what Jungle Book was and how amazing that turned out. And I think Lion King turned out even better. So that's the one reason to go check it out, because Jungle Book was so good. And this is just as promising.
All right, fanboys, I mean, you've seen this movie before. And to be honest, the realistic animation that is in live action, it doesn't emote nearly as well. You're not getting the same, you know, feelings that you got from the original. I think it's the faces, as much as they're trying to go realistic, that means you can't push and pull the emotions of I mean, how much emotion can an animal really portray? Not as much.
I actually really agree with that.
So you don't get nearly as much as the same feel, and you've already seen this movie. So you don't really need to go see it again. Just pop in that original DVD. All that said and done, How do you really feel about this movie? Like, what did you rate it? Like, are you gonna ever see this again?
I am definitely going to see this movie again. And for the ratings, ooh, you know what? I was so close to love. But you did sway me back when you were talking about actually bringing the emotions out. Like I said, I did watch this movie. I did watch the original one, and I did feel a lot more emotion. And I'm a crybaby, so, you know. I kind of cried and rewatching the old one, and this one didn't quite do it. And you were completely right, but I am still at amaze with this. Not a love. I'm at an amaze because they brought it to life, and it was such an amazing movie. I would definitely watch it again.
For me, there's so many things that just don't really do much for me in this movie. The music is great because it's the original music, but the songs that they change and the songs that they add, I don't know why you would add any songs.
True.
Because you're never gonna live up to the original songwriters. But anyways, all that aside, I am actually gonna go with Amaze just because of how the animation, the detail. Like, I don't think a single thing in this movie was actually shot on a camera, which is absolutely insane. I couldn't tell the difference between what live action would be and this animation. That's the only reason I'm putting it at Amaze. Storytelling, writing, acting all aside, not that great. But the CG alone is worth the spectacle. I think it was more detailed, better looking than like Avatar.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
That's what has me amazed at the end of this. Fanboys and critics, thanks for watching. It helps us out a lot if you do whatever you can. Give us some love, like, subscribe. We're one of the smaller channels out there, and it helps us out so much more than if you give a bigger channel a like, subscribe, share, do whatever you can. Just help us out. Show us some love. Next week, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
And we'll see you for the next review.
You know what I think was really crazy though? Disney opted for that realistic lion sex scene.
When? What?
Chihuahua.